Okay, last I think topic we have done. We are just starting the exception.
Yeah, we started exception and that
Exception
encapsulation.
and
Okay, let's continue with the exception because I think just one program has done in exception. And let's done today done an exception and then study the collection.
oh my God,
Just and giving the result. Okay, so what is first of all, what is exception handling? Again, I'm telling you what is exception handling. Exception handling means suppose you have written on code and
sir, voice is breaking now, sir.
you have done one code and that code and you run that code and you give some error. So that is called the exception. And how we can handle the exception? If we can handle the exception by try and catch block. In the try block, what we have done in the try block, we are putting the exception, and in the catch block, we just handling the exception. There is so many type of exception, just like in catch block, non-pointer exception, arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception, no such method exception. There are so many exceptions. We are trying to put in the catch block, and after that, we have done the final block. Final block means is restrict something. We have to restrict something, and we have to print something anyhow. That's why we are using the final block. So there are try catch, three block, try catch, and final block for the exception handling. And inside one try block, there is maybe more than one catch block. Maybe there are two or three different types of exception. Maybe it is for the first one is exception, maybe the second one is non-pointer exception, maybe. But initially there is one exception under one try block. But under the try block, there may be another or more than one catch block. There are multiple catch blocks. That is one kind of interview question. Suppose interviewer asks you to say, suppose under one try block there are multiple catch block or just one catch block. So you say that inside one try block there are multiple catch block maybe happen because of the different types of exceptions. That is there are different types of exception. IO exception means input output exception, SQL exception. Suppose you are writing any SQL query, and after that you write the wrong statement. You write the wrong statement of the SQL query, so database cannot connected to the your front end or your back end. And if your front end framework is not connected to your back end framework with the database, so the output cannot come. And Then what is the exception called? The exception called SQL exception. Structured SQL is structured query language. Structured query language exception is SQL exception. Next is class not found exception. Class not found exception means suppose you don't give any class.
Okay.
That is called class not found exception. Another exception is runtime exception. Another is arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, number format exception. There are so many exceptions. Stack overflow exception, out of memory exception. If your local system's memory is out of bound, out of the catching power, then the compiler will throw the error that is called out of memory error. That is the different type of exception we have seen. And there are two types of exception. One is checked exception and another is unchecked exception. One is checked and another is unchecked exception. Okay, so what is the checked exception and what is the unchecked exception? The checked exception is the classes that directly inherit the throwable class except runtime exception. That is called checked exception. And what is unchecked exception? The unchecked exception is the class inherits the runtime exception known as unchecked exception. I'm just giving him that theory in the WhatsApp. Just read this theory. What is checked and what is unchecked exception? Yeah, I have same in the WhatsApp. Checked and unchecked exception. There are difference between checked and unchecked exception. So what is checked exception again? The classes that directly inherit the throwable class. Throwable class means there is one type of parent class. In exception here, that is called throwable class. The classes that directly inherit the throwable class, except runtime exception, that is called checked exception. Directly inherit the throwable class. This is known as checked exception. For example, suppose IO exception, SQL exception, etc. Okay, so checked exception are checked in compiler and unchecked exception are checked at runtime. That is the another main difference between checked and unchecked exception. So these are the main two types, checked and unchecked exception, the type of the exception. Next come try, catch, and finally after that there are two keyword will come in exception topic. Next is throw. What is throw? The throw keyword is used to throw an exception. Suppose you have to throw or put an exception, that's throw. And another keyword, that is last keyword, is called throws. One is throw, and another is throws. Throw, what is now the question comes, what is a throws keyword? The throws keyword is used mainly to declare the exception. That's it. So throw keyword to throw the exception, and throws keyword is to declare the exception. That's it.
So what does it mean by declare exception?
What does that mean by?
Declaring the exception.
Declaring the exception means what is the type of the exception? Means it is
Okay.
SQL exception or IO exception. That is the throws. It's actually the throw keyword is used to declare the exception. Actually, it's specified how. It's specified there may be occur an exception in the method. It does not throw the exception, but it declares the exception. Yes. In this code, there is some exception. Maybe there is some exception, or there is may not be some exception. It declares. And inside the method, if there is any error or there is nothing error, that is decided by the throws. But throw, what is a throw? Throw keyword is used to throw an exception. Okay, now come to the exception example. Okay, Java multi-catch block exception. Yeah, Shobik, share your screen.
The host disabled the participant spirit.
Yeah, now she.
So it is running. It is of the student.
And with the exception of us and the rest of the. See, the first equals to 35 0. Catch is arithmetic exception. It is arithmetic exception actually. Arithmetic exception occurs. 30 by 3 is a one type of arithmetic exception. And after that, catch and index out-of-bound exception. There is no index out-of-bound exception. So then the compiler comes the next catch. What is the visible exception E and parent exception occurs. There is not exception. So finally, what the rest of the so finally it will declare the rest of the.
This one is
Actually,
final.
Yeah, this is the final printing statement. So actually compiler first of all see what is the actual exception. It is a arithmetic exception, so that's why the first catch will run.
We can change this E to anything.
You can see.
Okay.
Yes. So compiler first of all understand in line number 9 what kind of error is this? This is the arithmetic exception error. So that's why it will first print arithmetic exception. Now come to null pointer exception. Here C string is equals to null. So it is a null and then is dot name. Then catch identity exception. This is nothing identity exception. So then come to the next catch is add index outer bound exception. There is nothing outer bound exception. And after that, parent exception occurs. What is the parent exception? Parent exception means the first string is equal to null. A is not null. So there is nothing in string. In string there is nothing. Is not. That's why it is called parent exception occurs and the rest of the code. Because compiler cannot understand what is the actually string because we don't give any string value, we just give null. That's why it's called parent exception occurs. No source exception. Parent exception occurs and then the rest of the code. It will be. We now come to Java nested try block. So what is nested try block? Nested try block is suppose a nested for loop. Nested for loop is what? Inside one for loop, there is another for
On
loop.
the phone.
That's why the same methodology where nested for loop is nested try block is inside one try block, there is another try block. And then maybe another if under the two try block, there may be another try block or more than one try block. Let's come to nested example. Going to divided by 0, that is mean it is the arithmetic exception. So first print arithmetic exception. Second print index outer bound exception because u into 5 and a5 equals to 4. So that is the outer bound exception. Index 5 out of bound for length 5. After that, handle exception, normal arrest.
So what is the benefit of getting a try inside another try?
Yeah, Java nested type block actually it is called a nested type block. Every statement that we enter a statement in type block, then context of that exception is pushed onto the stack. Stack means in the cache. Here there are in a single time there are two types of exception can be handled. Suppose one type block can handle one cache block, and another type block in the same time can handle another cache block. Suppose you have arithmetic exception, so one type block can handle the arithmetic exception in the similar the corresponding way. In a similar time, another type block can handle another suppose array index out of bound exception. That is the main usage of the nested type. let's do another example of this chapter. Yeah, I have to keep separate because it can go.
Okay.
Index has C, index A, outer bound for length for our main driver.
Okay, got it.
Next come, this is going to triage block. Next come finally block. So what is finally block? Okay, what is finally block?
Finally, block, you said that if no error comes or whatever happens, result will be stored. That is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, finally block is a block used to execute the important code, such as closing the connection or whatever. Okay, closing the connection means suppose okay, just stop sharing. Share this, take groups. Public to go and change. Yeah. Yeah, that is that I have shown you in the previous. That's the database connection, connectivity from Eclipse with the database. So the data will come here. Actually, here also we use try block. So in the try block, we are just putting this is my driver and this is my database name, and the database is running in 3306 port, and this is my username, this is my password. This is the MySQL database name, and this is the database password. And this is the connection code. All are in the try block. And I using the file because all the EMP ID, department, and salary will be print in the file. So they are now starting the catch block. In the catch block, I am printing the message. And after that, here, for closing the connection, that is the main thing. Closing the connection, I have to close the connection. Otherwise, the connection will always remain step. But I have to close the connection. So for closing the connection, I have to use the finally block. Finally, try on dot close. There's my object dot close method. Statement dot close and arrays dot close. So all the connection will be closed down inside the what? Inside the finally block. So that is the one kind of usage of the finally block is for closing the connection between your framework and your database. That is the finally block. That is the usage of the finally block.
So you did that connection with database on all.
Yes, that is,
Through what did you
is
do?
the JDBC portion. That is. Yeah.
So about this Java, what kind of projects can be done in Java? Like in case of CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, you did that registration form.
Hmm.
Yeah, for practice of Java, what type of things can we do?
For project purpose, actually, all things will be mixed.
Okay.
Here we are just learning topic by topics, but when you do any project, all things will be mixed up. In a project, you have to create another package, and after that package, you just doing one HTML CSS code. In another package, you just doing the connection. In suppose your manager told you that what is the technology of that project, so you just asking your manager, and your manager told you that I want this in the JSP sublet.
Okay.
So that's the JS. So then you have to create one file user registration.jsp, and in that JSP file you just write the HTML for the CSS code. So it varies actually. So
So it depends on the
with only Java,
Yeah.
the project cannot be done actually. Yeah. For database connectivity, for database connection, yeah, Java is only done. Without the Java, you cannot connect the database. That I shown you. If you know the
So
Java,
Java, yeah.
the JDBC
So
will-
Java is kind of backend, right?
yeah, definitely. Java is kind of backend. With the Java language, we can use the JDBC to connect the
Okay.
database. Java is not only a programming language. Java is one kind of technology that we use in the backend.
Yeah.
Because it's the same structure. What is the code I am writing here? Inside the try block, inside the catch block, and the main method also. It is all in the Java function. So after the Java, the learning the JDBC will be very much easy. So that is the finally block. The one you see in the finally block is closing the connection. And Java finally block is always executed whether an exception is handled or not. That means exception is maybe occurred or not occurred, but when you create the finally block, then it will always quit, no matter how it goes. Let's start with the finally block example.
Yes, sir, done.
Yes, finally block is always executed and rest of the that is the we are using a try block. After that, we are using catch block, null pointer exception actually, and after that, the final block is always executed. So actually, there is no error actually. See,
Yeah, yeah.
25 by 5 equals to 5. There is no error, but still, final block will execute. Final block is always executed. So there may be error or may not be error, but final block will always execute. That is the main thing of the final block. Now, next example is when an exception occur but not handled by catch block. Then what will happen if we write the final block?
Yeah.
Suppose in the catch block the proper exception cannot be handled. Then what will happen?
I would show the finally.
I would do the finally.
Yes. See in this example. See, final block will always exist.
Okay.
But your main thing is not changed. Your main thing is it.
Let me just copy. Yes, sir.
Incentive block and you are incentive block. Yes. And there is a arithmetic exception. Do another final block exception.
The cache lock is there.
Yes. Exception handled, but it is the arithmetic exception by 0 and final block always executed instead of this. Now that goes to the finally. Next is Java throw and throws exception. The remaining exception in our exception pattern is throw exception. So what is throw? That's I told you. So just throwing the event. That is it. The throw keyword is used to throw an exception explicitly. And that exception has some message with it that provides error description. Some message means suppose there is a kind of exception, etc. etc. This is called actually message, and that is thrown actually, and that thrown is done by the throw. First of all, showing unchecked exception. Let's see the show exception example. Yeah. Parcel is not eligible to vote. Let's see. Suppose I have taken one parameterized method, let's say int age, one argument, integer age. So if age is less than 18, then what? The person is not eligible to vote. That is the arithmetic exception. That is throw the exception, throw new arithmetic exception.
So it is needed to make new exceptions.
It is
It is required to make new exceptions. I mean, we can always do the system.out.println person is not eligible. To show that there is an exception, we can use.
throw new arithmetic exception. Yeah. Now else, what will happen? Person is eligible to vote. Then the main method and then following the method inherited 13. So if the person's age is 13, then the rest of the this person is eligible to vote and then and 13, then person is not eligible to vote. There is one kind of throw example. There is another throw exception.
Some kind of error it is.
Yeah, you have to import this. Import. Also, file it just okay. Actually, import this. Buffer reader also import.
So what is buffer reader?
It is one type of class. Buffer reader is one type of class. There are two types of class: buffer reader and buffer builder.
What does it do? Create file.
I'm telling you. Yeah, it spins a file. Okay, now what is buffer reader class? Buffer reader class is used to read the text from a character-based input stream. Here we use buffer reader class for what? We use buffer reader class to use the to read the text from a character-based input stream. It can be used to read data line by ID. It make the performance faster.
Okay.
And what is the reader class? The reader class is the file. That file is a reader class. So that from the file, the buffer reader class do what buffer reader class do from the file. Whatever the content is there inside the file, that can read by the buffer reader class, and that is used to read the text from the character-based input stream. That is buffer reader. So here I am printing that file in this file reader. File equals to new file reader. C users. That is the one kind of text file. Whatever the file is. Now buffer reader file equals to new buffer reader. That means I have to print this file. That's why I use buffer reader class. After that, throw new file not found exception, because the file is not found, because I have no such file inside my laptop. So there is the file not found exception. And after that, the main method, trial block, catch block. And what is now next question come in line number 27. What is, and it will show file not found exception, and that will be always. But what is in line number 27? E dot print stack trace. It has been that I have shown already in the database connection course where I am using. It is one kind of method actually. That method is showing the declaration or the explanation of the error. We use error print stack trace for the declaration or the definition of the error. So what kind of definition actually? What kind of declaration? That is what kind of error and the definition of the error. That is done by the error print stack trace. So this is what kind of error is this? The error is file not found exception. And inside the file not found exception, C users Anuroti desktop abc.txt, and that is not exist in your system itself. That is not exist in your system. So that's why it is showing file not found exception. And after that, rest of the code will be. And here the file not found exception, that with the throw keyword, we put the error or we throw the error. That is the see here is line number 10 also. One throws also implemented. Public static void
Yeah,
method.
throws files.
Throws file not found exception. What is the condition of throws? What is throws? Sorry.
It declares the exception. What type
Yes.
of exception it is?
Yes, it declares the throws. The throws and error print stack trace, the both are the same kind of throws file not found. It is one type of keyword, but here error print stack trace, it is one kind of method. E means what? E means it is exception E. That is in the object. Object dot method. Print stack trace is one kind of method, so that is called E dot print stack trace. And throws means for declare the exception. That is called throws file not found exception. So that is a throw and throws. See, we have done another kind of exception that is called file not found exception. There are so many exceptions. Okay, another now the exception is user defined exception. I'll give you the example. Let's take user defined exception.
Okay. I need to create another file for this.
Java.
It is running, right? You can do it like this.
Yeah, but better to use another.
So this exception, right? As you're sending in the chat box, that same program only we have to execute, right?
Yeah, let's say.
Okay.
For the exception, and this is the defined exception. Okay, go to the previous slide. Yeah, what will happen? User defined exception class extends exception. So there is one exception. So there is one parent class and child class. I am using here the inheritance or the method overriding, whatever you say. The exception or the properties of exception come to the user defined exception. After that, public user defined exception string str. I am taking one string as an argument. After that, calling constructor of parent exception super str. After that, come to the next one. That is called test source. It's here, main method after try block, and then I'm throwing the exception, throwing user defined exception, this is user defined exception, and then user defined exception in the and caught the exception system data in there, and after that, the message. It is the user defined exception. So this is another kind of exception that is the user defined exception. In the previous example, we have done the pilot found exception, and here it is the user defined exception. That means user defined. That means whatever the developer or you can
Sir.
define the exception. That's called user defined exception.
Sir, 1 minute. Here finally is not in here. So it is user dependent, right?
Yeah, it is executed because finally is not there. All the time, finally cannot be there. You can add finally here also. Finally, basically, finally, what finally do? Finally, for closing the connection that I have told you, when we use the JDBC connection, finally, using the finally block, the connection will be closed. Between the data cannot come to your database to your front end or back end. And another usage of the finally that is goes to one. And another is the second usage of your finally block is whatever the error will come, that's maybe handling by the cache block or not, but finally block will always be printed. That is another usage of the finally. The finally block will always run, no matter what the situation is.
Okay.
Yeah, that try catch block we used so many in the JDBC. Try catch and finally. And then we have to do the third functionality because that functionality we have to add. Okay, just I have shown you the third functionality. Show me just stop the share. I'm just showing you part of the third functionalities. So there is one error is found. I need to check what the error. Actually, this is the JDBC portion. I need to check the error because what type of error is found. See, this is the SQL not found. This is the SQL exception. What is the SQL exception? Suppose insert into employee. Okay. And this is your three field, employee ID, department, and salary. And then what are the values? The values is employee ID, department, and salary. Okay, so after that, I am just opening the database. Okay, so this is my database.
So nothing showing.
Okay, we don't see that. That's okay. Yes. I have to share the full screen. That's right. Let's see here. This is the database and database new database also. This is new database, schema new database. And there are the three columns, employee ID, department, and salary. And there is 5 employee ID. And one is Python, and this HR, and there is QT, and this finance, and the automation tester. So whatever the department is there, and then salary will be 56, 13, 14. That I need to understand for the testing purpose. The database connection is on this. Database connection is on this. See, all the data are coming. Connection established. EMPID 1, Python, all the data they are coming. You can add the data. Just see, you can add here, just like this. It will be 6. It will be suppose Java. It will be suppose. Okay. We apply. Finish. Yes, you just again you run this, so that value will be coming here. See, I'm just adding this data 6 Java, it will come here because I'm just adding these things. Class.font name, string URL inside the try block. My driver new database. This is the database name actually. My new database. This is the database name, new database. How can you create the database? I will tell you later. Right. Localhost 3306 because it is running on the port 3306 and jdbc.mysql. This is the default port number. Localhost 3306 and after that slash your database name. Your database name may be different from mine. And this is your user and this is your password. And you have to remember your password. Otherwise, if you give the wrong value, it cannot be connected. Then driver manager get connection URL user password. Connection established. That thing will print connection established. Inside the And else, if the connection is not established, then not connect with the DB. Not connect with the database. Then create the statement. What are the statement? Select start from employee. That is the statement. Select start from employee means this is the one kind of SQL query. Suppose I am writing here select start from employee. Again run this file. See. Here actually here you can see here. See, select start from employee. It 6 row return. And it is the green tick means your query will perfectly fine. Your query is running perfectly. And this is the 6 rows. And the table will come. Suppose I am given select start from employee, where suppose I want to check particular one data. I don't want to check all the things. I want to check suppose that HR person. I want to check the information about the HR person. So select start from employee where employee equals to 3. See. Okay, employee 3, that is not the HR actually. The employee of the HR is 2 actually. So let's do it 2. The information of HR will if I want to see the particular information of that person. Okay, here also, if you just select start from employee, where employee equals to 2. So now save this and run this again. See. That particular data will come. That's the SQL query. That is the SQL query. Whatever you give this, it is based on that needs that it will come. If you give 3 again, it will give that type of information in query 3. And you can also do with not employee, you can also do with the department. Where department equals to, because I think here I am using the primary key is employee, that's why it will be. I think department is showing on. Let's see. Yeah, actually the query cannot run because I am using the employees as a primary. That's why the employee, that is the thing. Altered. Okay, let's do it. I am battery is low.
Then put it on the charts.
What put it on the chat? Yeah, now that is the okay. So department is not coming because I take employee ID as a primary key. So whatever you search for the particular person, you have to search with the employee ID. Otherwise, it cannot come. That I am to do all that table. That all that table. Unit table. See, here virtual, primary key, binary, auto increment, stored, not null, unsigned, it will be. So if you just create the employee ID, then you just check this, the primary key, then employee ID will automatically primary. And that's why if I use department equals to teacher, then it will not come. If I use EMPID, because of the primary key I have declared MPID equals to 3, because of that primary key, my data is coming. I cannot do where department is QTD, salary is 40. I have to do employee ID equals to 3, because I have made this by default when I am creating the table, that employee ID equals to 3. And this is your query. You write the query and then control shift or you use this button. So your table will. So this is the try catch and finally block will be there. So see here e dot print stack is also I am using here. Okay, just see how you can create one database. Suppose from here, create a new schema in the connected server. From here, you can create the schema that I give the name new database. You can give any name after creating that. Suppose you go to this here name. Whatever the name you give, it is the database.
Yeah.
It will be added here. It will be added.
Okay.
Let's come to the exception again. Okay, so that is the exception actually. That is the your try catch and finally throw and throws. So what throws what actually? Throw and throws.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the what function of the throw and throws?
Sir, throw will make a new exception and throws will declare what kind of exception it is.
We can throw the exception. Throw means we can throw the exception. That means we can put the exception. Okay, let's do one example of throws.
Yeah. So it is showing like this.
Yes. Exception handle normal. That is throws IO exception. That is a declaration of the exception. IO means input output exception. This called checked exception device. Because that IO exception M is the type of method. Void P. We insert the try block catch exception E exception handle and the main method. And there will be the normal. Okay, now come to the next topic. That is exception is ended. So there are basically 5 topic inside the exception. One is try, one is catch, finally throw and throws. That's it. So basically throw and throws is basically not coming into the real life. Basically try and catch and finally. These 3 keywords is basically important for next is multi-threading. Multi-threading in Java. Okay, what is multi-threading? Multi-threading means the process of executing multiple threads simultaneously. And next question comes, what is thread?
Yeah.
A thread is a lightweight sub-process, the smallest unit of processing. Suppose you have to do some work and that needs to be some process. That processing of the smallest unit of processing is called thread. And multi-processing and multi-threading both are used to achieve multitasking. And there are so many threads that is called multi-thread. And what is thread? Thread is lightweight sub-process. The smallest unit of the processing is called it. Okay, so why we use multi-threading? The advantage of multi-threading. Actually, it does not block the user because threads are independent and you can perform multiple operations at the same time. That is one advantage. Another advantage is what? Another advantage is you can perform many operations together. So it saves time. After that, threads are independent. So you can run the threads in any environment, in any Windows environment or any other Linux environment, any other operating system environment. It doesn't affect it. So these are the 3 main advantages of Java multi-threading. So I'm giving you that advantage in the hard side. These are the three main advantage of multi-thread. And there are so many Java thread methods. So what are the Java thread methods? Just it's a start method, run method, sleep method, current thread, join, get priority, set priority, get name, set name. I'm just giving the encapsulation, right? The get name, set, getting and getter and setters. I've already shown that get name, set name, get ID. What about the getter and setters? What about the method? These are all the thread methods. Current thread, run, sleep, start. There are so many methods there, but actually what happened right now for doing the project, actually these things are not used actually.
Multi-threading on this.
Yeah, that multi-threading actually not used so many times, but it is a one kind of advanced Java portion. That's why advanced Java portion, and multi-threading is not actually used very much in the project. What about the usage of that advanced Java is that JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. That is the main usage. With the JDBC
Java database
connection. Okay, now come to next, garbage collection. What is garbage collection? Just know that garbage collection is a one kind of process that perform in the Java. Garbage collection is, suppose you have so many objects and you don't want to use all the objects. So what happens? All the objects are there and Java needs to remove that object. So the memory will be saved and the program will be not compressed. That's called the garbage collection. To clear the garbage actually, clear the unwanted things. That's what the process is called, garbage collection. Clear the unwanted objects from your local system, from your code actually. That is called garbage collection. So now come to actually Java 8, from Java 8 version. There is one main thing is come, that is called lambda expression. That is the new features of Java just added from the Java 8 version. That is called lambda expression. You know what is lambda expression?
No ideas. First time.
There is one kind of Java 8 features. There is a new features in Java just added in after the Java 8 version. And after the Java 7 version, that features is not actually come. Okay, what is lambda expression? Lambda expression is a new and important feature of Java, which is included in Java 8. It provides a clear and concise way to represent one method interface using an expression. So what it is doing, it is very useful in collection library. It helps to iterate, filter, and extract data from collection. So you just know what is lambda collection. If interviewer tell you what is the lambda collection, you just say it is very useful in collection library. It helps to iterate, filter, and extract data from collection. And lambda expression is used to provide the implementation of an interface which has functional interface. So lambda expression basically used for the functional interface. It saves a lots of code. And in case of lambda expression, we don't need to define the method again. I'm just giving you the theory to you so you can understand what is the lambda expression. I am sending in WhatsApp. This is the lambda expression. Okay, so what is the usage of the lambda expression? You just said 2 points. First point is to provide the implementation of functional interface. And next point is what? Next point is less coding. That's it. To provide the implementation of functional interface is the main usage of the lambda expression. It is a one kind of expression. So just quickly do one program. So that's it. Understand what is the lambda expression. The lambda expression is
Hmm?
What is test? Class.
yeah, the drawing thing, example of lambda expression. Just see here, what is lambda expression here? Just public as lambda expression example into 10 interface drawing. We are creating the interface of functional interface. That interface in line number 3, that interface is called functional interface. For usage of the functional interface, we use lambda expression.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the without the lambda expression, and now from that example on, that is the lambda expression here. Let's see the next example so you can understand. That is the functional interface example, and after that, I am saying to you the functional interface syntax.
Lambda interface is not like the arrow keyword in JavaScript. Arrow keyword, sorry, arrow symbol.
Yeah, and that is the thing. That is the next thing. That is the example of functional interface, and now you are doing that is called lambda expression example. For using the functional interface, you also do lambda expression. See, with lambda in line number 12, drawable d2 equals to bracket, then arrow. After that, join with, that is called d2 dot draw. So here in line number 12, that is the syntax of the lambda expression. That is the one kind of expression. That is one kind of line or whatever you say, one kind of expression. That is called lambda expression.
So we don't need to create function in other place. We can directly create function. Right?
Yeah. We don't need to create any method or any function. We just need to write lambda and then we can print this. For less coding, actually, for less complexity, for less coding, we use lambda, and another is for functional interface. Yes, tell me.
No, sorry.
Yeah,
One
tell me.
thing
Hmm.
was saying that how can we use semicolon right here? Like,
Semicolon means?
I mean, it's a function, right? So this is
Hmm.
semicolon right here. So it should show error. Right?
This is the abstract method.
Oh
Inside
yeah,
the
abstract. We have to use semicolon right here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Inside the interface, whatever the method is called abstract method. But in the abstract class, there may be abstract method or non-abstract method. So now lambda expression is single parameter.
Okay, got it.
Lambda expression, it will be for each loop also. Lambda expression, multiple statement also. We just do the for each loop.
This is a collection framework, right?
No, this is not connection.
This list.
This is lambda expression. The list, yeah, the array list will be the lambda. Sorry, array list will be the collection framework.
Yeah.
The list is a collection framework, but it is lambda expression. Actually, collection framework I have to do in the next step because
Yeah,
the
that's not
Java,
enough time.
yeah, because lambda expression and exception is very vast actually.
Yeah.
The next day, after finishing the collection framework in Wednesday, we will start the JDBC and MySQL question and JDBC. That the code already I have done. You have to do that in your system. That database connection demo, whatever the code I have shown you, that database connectivity. You need to create one database table in your own.
Yeah.
Here I am giving you just the employee ID, department and salary, and you can give another so many things.
Okay.
Employee
So
address,
can
phone
we
number. Yeah.
can we do one thing like we did that registration form, so we can add the numbers and all, and when it is submitted, it goes to the database directly.
Okay, so you
Is
make
that
registration form.
Yeah.
So you have to use JSP as a front end.
Okay.
But JSP actually you don't know.
Yes, sir.
That's right. With the HTML, it cannot be happen. Cannot be connected actually with the database.
Okay.
The data will come as front end. You have to use the JSP technology. Registration user registration.jsp. You have to create, then inside the JSP file, you have to create the form and HTML tags, whatever the form
Okay.
will be made. So you have to learn the JSP for that.
Okay.
But the JSP is another portion actually.
Yeah. Okay.
JSP is not the JSP is not the part of the Java stack.
Okay. And
If
for
you want
Java,
but always if you want to learn, then always you learn. There is no matter what.
yeah, that. And for Java, what were you saying? Next day we will do.
We are just doing the based on Java. If the Java is the backend, we are just connecting the database and it looks.
Okay.
Sir, next day's topic is JDBC only.
JDBC and collection.
Collection. Okay. Okay.
You will have to okay, next day we'll just install the collection and install MySQL workbench that software tool, and after that we just do the coding for the connectivity. The connection. Okay, up to this for today.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we make the zip file and send you notes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm making it.
Oh. Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, I am asking sir that I am using the JavaScript with the Java is a backend, no? So, sir, if you any tasks in the tickets will be given, how can you identify what logic will be used in Java? After real-time work, how can you identify what logic we will use?
In the real-time work, actually, suppose you are in a team, right? In a team,
Yeah.
you have you have one manager. You have one project manager, and that manager will set one meeting, and that meeting will be for how the project structure and the documentation, whatever the features will be added. Then here also, whatever the technology you have to use, the manager will tell. Then you can easily understand whatever the technology is.
So that time we will get the
Yeah, that
knowledge
time
with what is the logic.
maybe yeah. Whatever your client says, you have to do. Whatever your client says. Suppose I am telling right now that you have to use with Java connectivity with using the JSP front as a JSP, make one registration. But after some time later, another person come. Suppose I leave the organization and another project manager will come and then say to you that you know Angular. Then you say no, then it will be stick to JSP. Or if you know the Angular, then the manager will say, yeah, then make that registration form with the Angular. Then you easily understand. Then you have to convert that JSP to Angular. That is the thing.
Okay, sir. Sir, I am asking one question also. After completion collection and JDBC connection, then
MySQL
after that,
MySQL database after completion of MySQL and JDBC connectivity.
okay.
So then we will start Angular. Or we can start Spring Boot also. Let's see. Talk with the Sunil sir, and after that I will tell you.
Okay.
There are two things. One is front-end framework and this back-end framework. One front-end framework is I just saying you Angular, and another back-end framework is Spring Boot. Just see, and shall we just stop the screen sharing? I will share the screen. Just see.
Any question?
Yeah, that is the diagram I have shown you. That is the view layer. That is the view, and we have done this Java, and inside the view layer, whatever the we use HTML. We use HTML. We can use CSS, or also we can use JSP, or we can use Angular, or we can use React. You heard about that React.js. That is the Angular JS and that is the React JS. So as a front-end framework, you have to learn Angular or React. That is the front-end framework. And after that, you have to learn the back-end.
Sir, Angular and React for
Yeah.
front end, what it is used like Angular is like framework for designing. What is React?
React is also the same thing like Angular.
Okay.
It is also on front-end framework, but it is the and this is the another framework and this is another totally two different things. But just I saying this, one manager will tell you, I need that project with Angular, then you have to make the project with Angular. But another manager will tell you, I need that project with React. Then you have to make that project with React. But what are the developers who know that React, then they will develop with React. But whatever the
Got it,
developer
got it.
will know Angular, but they will go for Angular. And in the backend, there may be Spring Boot.
Okay.
This is the backend, and this is the drum-like structure. This is the MySQL database. That database, the data will come here, or that is the total project connectivity actually. That will come later. Actually, that total
Yes.
project we have, that total project will come in the last day actually.
Okay.
The employee, I have one project, it is called employee management system. All the data will come in the front end, and then again go to the back end with the Spring Boot. And then here Angular, and then connected to Spring, and then connected to MySQL database. All the three features, all the three tool will be connected in a project. That will come in it. But first of all, we have to know Angular. We have to know Spring, otherwise we cannot connect it. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so today's up to this.